The Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
1490 WGCH. This is Carrie Lutz. You're listening to the Financial Survival Network. Back with us again by popular acclaim. It's the international forecaster, Bob Chapman. Bob, welcome back.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're always happy to have you. Gold and silver, they're really holding their own, even though you can see the assaults on them to try to make Bernanke look good and Obama's State of the Union address look good. It's kind of like losing its effect, kind of like printing up money and just passing it out. Eventually, it loses its potency.
Oh, it sure does. And these mini attacks every single day are just showing the people more and more that the government doesn't care what you think. They're going to do what they're going to do. Look at the way they keep the market up. There's no reason for it to stay up, but it will. That's what happens when you have a corporatist fascist government. It's pretty simple. But as you can see, gold and silver are, I guess you'd call it methodically working themselves higher. They'll come in on their attack every Tuesday and Wednesday, and Monday and Friday will probably be good days, when the exact opposite was the truth not too long ago. There's a lot of good buys out there in the shares. Of course, gold and silver coins and bullion are always a good buy. I expect that we'll, during the course of the year, relentlessly move upward. And so you buy and you be patient and you hope that it doesn't move too quick so you can buy more.
So it's just buy and hold, huh?
That's my philosophy. I was a broker. And the brokers, most of them, to make their living, they churn accounts. And that's a fact, Jack. And I didn't do that. I went to all the conferences and raised hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's how I did it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have to churn anybody's account. And because I was doing gold and silver shares, I'd have the state of the FINRA or whoever it was in there every single day. FINRA didn't exist at that time, but anyway. All three of them, all year round. You know, we got a one-horse operation. My legal bills are $250,000 a year for nothing. Wrong. Well, I never found anything. I finally got tired of them and just retired and got bored and started writing.
Yeah. Enough was enough, huh?
And it's hard. When I went through 40 years of being singled out because of my politics, and the other newsletter writers were no help whatsoever.
Sad commentary, isn't it?
On human nature, human beings.
On a brighter note, though, these shares are looking like they're getting poised to move, aren't they?
I think so. I really do. I've had a couple of moved handsomely here, and I think they'll continue to. But there's a lot of good buys out there. You just do your homework or have somebody who's a professional who knows what to say. Well, go by that one and that one and that one and that one because they already looked into them. And they know what they're doing. So
it's not for the faint of heart, though, because there's a lot of companies out there that they're not really in the mining business. They're in the marketing of an investment business, right?
That's always been the case. But all of the old promoters are gone. None of them are left.
So still caution is the byword, because in Vancouver, I saw 550 companies there, and somebody said in 5 years, half of them will be gone. And in my opinion, it could be more than that, because they might have claims, they might have good ore grades, but they're not feasible for a number of different reasons. And yet that issue never really gets raised to the public's attention, does it? And you're right. Well, I think, I look at one company, and the president is pulling like $18,000 a year out of the company. Mm-hmm. $18,000. I look at another company, and the president's pulling $300,000. That's wrong. Mm-hmm. In a small company. Right. So what should a the head of a small company in exploration and in going into development, what kind of compensation is right for him?
Well, I think at the beginning they shouldn't get anything. And as the company starts to evolve, if you've raised money and you start putting holes in the ground, and you get something good. Well, maybe then if they've got enough money kicking around, you can take a small amount each month, expenses and things like that. And then as the possibilities broaden for your company, and it looks like they're going to go into production, then you can start talking about taking $50,000 or $100,000 a year as a salary and expenses. But it usually happens one way or the other. I won't even look at companies where the presidents are making, $300,000 a year, unless they're a middle tier or an upper tier producer, and then the people in those companies deserve that kind of money.
Right. And what about share structure? Because you refer to that a lot. What type of share structure do you look for? Obviously, you don't want to see hundreds of millions of shares, but what's the ideal?
Well, I think you can raise money from the public as opposed to having an IPO. And you'd be able to do that around 30 cents. Mm-hmm. And you should be able to take, let's say you're fortunate enough to have $1 to $2 million. You can get the right people to find you the properties. You go out and drill them, and all of a sudden you have the potential for a mine. And that means you might need more money, so you kick up to $35 million. So you sell $5 million at 50 cents. That's $2.5 million. And then you work from there. You work slowly and diligently, and don't go to 30 properties before you get a winner. I mean, all these companies that have 200, 300, 400 million shares out weren't that fortunate. What they were doing is looking and they didn't find anything. And that doesn't mean they're bad or indifferent, but it does mean that you're working with, well, let's say to be fair, 130 million versus 35 or 50 million. It's a big difference.
Right.
Big difference. So I like companies with low outstanding shares that get management that are not interested in the day-to-day looting of the company. They want to find a mine.
Right.
And then when they do, they should be rewarded by a higher price in the shares as well as a decent salary.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
The formula is pretty simple. And then another thing that's very important is the backgrounds on people. I mean, I run into people, I see they have 4 or 5 losers in a row. You can't get too excited. And you gotta know people. It's very important. If you don't know people, you'll be able to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Harry, do you know this guy over here that's running XYZ resources?" And he looks, "Oh yeah, he's a real nutcase." And that's the end of it. Or you might say, "Hey, he's a terrific guy. I really like him. They're doing their best. I want to know those people."
Mm-hmm. Right. So there's a whole art to doing this then, huh?
Art is the word.
And you talk about management and what they're all about. So you want somebody whose interests align with the shareholders, not who's living off the shareholders then, right?
That's precisely correct.
Of all the mining companies out there, what percentage of them fall into that category?
Probably 20, 25%.
So you have a 1 in 4 shot of finding a decent one, and if you do some good due diligence, you can pick them out because they're definitely there then. Right.
Now, I don't recommend many stocks either. I don't want to run a mutual fund. And so if you get good deals, well, you got them. Mm-hmm. I had one at 4.5. It's a buyout at 15.60. Yeah. Come on, does it get any better than that?
No, I don't think so.
I get another one just went from 6 to 17. Doesn't get any better than that, and everything else is falling on its butt.
Interesting. So you can definitely do well here, but obviously it's like anything else, caveat emptor, and you got to be careful because you got to know who you're dealing with and understand the prospect. So, which means if a stockbroker calls you pushing a mining stock, the alarm bell should be going off, and you need to really talk to somebody who understands these things, find the right publications, the right advisors who get mining, because it really is such a specialty. And you can't, unless you're deeply involved in it, you're just not going to know what needs to be done. So on that note, Bob, let's hope that gold and silver find their natural level upward for the coming week, and tell us about the forecaster.
The forecaster is about business, finance, economic, social, and political issues all over the world. Published on Wednesday and Saturday by email. Runs around 35 to 40 pages each time. And we have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those who are not on the internet. And I just raised the postage again. When does it all end? Anyway, if you want a free introductory copy of either, you go to theinternationalforecaster.com. The International, FORECASTER.com. You can also go to intforecaster.com. If you would like to ask a question and we answer everyone, or get a report on our latest gold and silver share releases, you can email us, Bob at intforecaster.com. Bob at intforecaster.com. And for those of you who would like to call toll free, that number is 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178. And for those of you who would like to become subscribers, you can get copies there, but if you want to be a subscriber, you should go there because they have a special deal, and that deal gives you a free 1-year subscription. And I think the deal's terrific.
All right, Bob, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. You be well. Enjoy the great weather. Hopefully we'll enjoy a nice little run-up in the metals.
I hope so. Thank you again, and thank you all for listening.